Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Greetings to all of you from across the globe. My name is Matt Yuan. I'm the founder and CEO of CountN. For our second series on CountN Live, we have Carly Craft and Justin Bartlett joining us from Coral Moons. Tonight they will share with us a wonderful performance, a little bit more about what it's like to be mobile developers while pursuing a career in the arts, and they'll give us a sneak peek into their EP that they will be releasing this summer. Life has been thrown short by the coronavirus due to it affecting the lives of millions of people both in the US and here across the globe. Many of us are staying at home, working from home, and not having the opportunity to go out. Musicians, writers, actors, directors, composers, artists in general have been feeling this impact particularly hard, not only because they're having to stay at home, but because many of their shows have been canceled and the industry has been shut down. Again, many of you who are joining us tonight are artists yourselves, while many of you are also business owners, consultants, lawyers, doctors, professionals involved in other fields. And you might be curious, what does the life of an artist look like? What does it mean to be a full-time musician? Today we're going to pick up from where we left off last week and continue to show you what it's like to be an artist, what it means to dedicate his or her life to the pursuit of the arts. Personally, I would like to thank all of you who made a contribution to our campaign last week. Some of you who are viewing this video right now, thank you for your generosity, and we are going to continue in that spirit of generosity today, once again partnering with the record company, Boston's very own non-profit record company. All contributions made tonight will go directly to their Boston Music Maker Relief Fund and to Coral Moons. Please feel free to make a donation directly through this campaign or through the link below if you're watching via YouTube or another streaming channel. Now, to kick us off, we have Carly and Justin from Coral Moons performing Fall in Love. The Coral Moons has been playing in the local music scene for the past 2 years. They just released their EP in the fall of 2019, Quarter Life Crisis. If you're having a quarter life crisis, I highly recommend visiting their EP on YouTube or Spotify. The band describes themselves as quirky, intelligent, fun, smart, and of all things data-driven. Multitude of local radio stations, including WERS 95.9, WNBR 92.5 River, and the list goes on and on. Please welcome Carly and Justin from Coral Moons performing Fall in Love.
Until you sweep me off of my feet. I've been walking alone for so long now. I don't need no retreat. Never wanna get in too deep, yeah. Scratching the surface is where I like to be. And you can play around for a little while, but I'll be gone while you sleep. Oh, I remember, all the sweetest things you said to me. Oh, and you used to slow me down and call me baby. Oh, I'm gonna miss those rainy days. Oh, it's hard to think about us when all I can do is avoid things, and we can stay around for a little while, but I'll be gone while you sleep, yeah. Oh, I remember, all the sweetest things you said to me. Oh, when you used to slow me down and call me baby. Ooh, I'm gonna miss those rainy days.
you, Carly and Justin, for joining us. Great to have you on the show. That was a really great song, Fall in Love. I think that everyone heard that on the last episode, and we were able to hear the whole song. So, yeah, thanks for being here.
Well, hey, Matt, thanks so much for having us.
It's great to have you guys. So, I think I think that one thing that is interesting about you is, when I first met you, I was doing some product testing. I was releasing my first app into the market, and I think I met you through Leo's son, and he was saying that, hey, you should meet with Carly. She's got a band. It's really great. She should check it out. What I didn't expect was, when I reached out to you, I was like, hey, like, I've got this app. I was wondering whether you want to try it out. And you said yes. And then when I met you, you gave me a full document of what to do with the user interface, like how to change up the chat app, and then how to add a feature on how to, network between musicians, right? And what I didn't realize was that you were a mobile developer, and you've got kind of a unconventional career. You were, you were a college athlete. You pursued a career in tech as a mobile developer, and you're also fairly recently a new touring musician. So in the traditional sense, you're a little late. You entered the space a little later. You entered the music world a little later than most people usually do. But yeah, tell me more about how you got into music and how that happened.
Sure. Yeah, I would definitely say I'm a late bloomer of music. Like you said, I was a college athlete, so I've pretty much been training my whole life for one thing, and that was soccer. Then my senior year of college, I was introduced to a couple of musicians who just did some like open mics around campus. So I was like first introduced to music then, and I always like to sing in the shower. And I did play the oboe.
Everyone starts.
Right. Everything starts in the shower. And then, yeah, so then I moved to Boston because I got a job in tech, like you mentioned. So I moved to Boston and met some of my coworkers actually played music. And through my coworkers, I met Justin. And Justin took it upon himself to teach me how to play guitar.
Wow.
And like play guitar. I'd always tried to learn guitar like a zillion times in my life, but I would like learn one John Mayer song and then like that would be it. I'd be like, I did it, I can play guitar. And I never actually learned how to play guitar until Justin was like, you should learn how to play guitar because then you can write music. And I was like, I don't want to write music. Like, I just want to like enjoy it and like sing along and like, whatever. And yeah, then I learned how to play guitar and then I was like, oh my gosh, like I can write music now. So basically I learned guitar as a tool to write music.
That's awesome. And growing up, like, so you mentioned oboe. Was that something that you played when you were young, or did you have any musical influence in your life before, I guess, start, going on tour and booking shows or how did that happen?
Yeah, I guess I always loved music. Like music always had a special place in my heart. Like I loved going to symphonies and like I played in orchestra and wind ensemble.
Oh, wow.
I pretty much like got my hands dirty in as much like oboe as I could. And I loved it. It was amazing.
For the win.
Yeah, like there would be some songs that we were playing that I would just like cry while we're playing. Everyone's like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "It's just so pretty and beautiful." And like I really wasn't that good, but since I was an oboe player, I didn't have like, a competition, so they couldn't like kick me out.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, the transition for me was just it was obviously not traditional at all. I didn't play oboe for 4 years until I started like really learning how to play the guitar. So I kind of like got away from my music theory in a sense and just like tried to like play something that was like a little bit more about feeling instead of like reading something on a chart or like talking more in that sense.
Yes. And that was classical. That was like classical music that you were playing, and now you're more kind of on the contemporary side. Wow.
Yeah, nothing really on the contemporary side at all.
Okay. Yeah. Wow, that's an interesting transition because you go from kind of reading scripts and memorizing things and having a very structured and in some sense mechanical way of playing music to kind of oh, let's sit down and jam for a bit and see what we come up with, and
Yeah.
improvise and
Oh my
try
God.
this out and try that out,
Yeah. Improvising still scares me to this day. So
Yeah,
stay on that one.
yeah, because you never know what's gonna happen, right? So
Yeah.
it could go great, it could go horrible.
Yeah, and then that's this guy.
Yeah.
He can improvise.
I prefer to not have structure.
Yeah.
I like to have as little structure as possible. Well, I like structure, but then I like to extend that structure for
Yeah.
as long as whatever.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And Justin, for you, what's your background? You I know you're also a mobile developer, but you play guitar very well. Tell me about your music story.
Yeah.
Jazz band.
Yeah.
Jazz band.
Okay, that's what I'm talking about.
I was not. It was funny because so I started on violin in like 4th grade because my sister was in the band, but they wouldn't let 4th graders in the band. So I wanted to do music. So I started on violin, and then I think a year or 2 later, I started playing guitar, and I've been singing since, I don't know, for as long as I was a little baby kid.
Little baby.
And yeah, I mean, just over the years, I always, for school, I always played in the jazz band. And then outside of school, I played
Jazz band.
in a couple like pop punk bands. And I started some bands in college. And then when I graduated college, I decided I wanted to shift my focus to being more full-time musician. And full-time musician,
And then you went to college for physics, and then you got another job in tech.
Right.
We're still working 40 hours or more.
Yeah.
We're still working a 9 to 5.
When you have those sprints, right?
Yeah, 2-week sprints. All the
2 weeks
way.
sprint, maybe.
agile for the win. Right?
Agile. Always agile.
Always
I'm
agile.
fucking agile now.
We
We have
do,
like
it's
post-it
bad.
notes up on the wall, like talking through specific tasks. It's really bad.
Wow.
I don't know how to think before agile.
So I actually wanted to ask you guys on that, because both of you are mobile developers. You're working in the tech field. Justin, you have a degree in physics, and Carly, I think you did computer science.
Yep.
So how does a lot of people who are watching this show right now either work in tech or have some proximity to tech, whether they're working as consultants or it's a big part of their lives. So how do you see your tech career or your tech background connecting with your music career at the current, coming from a atypical background for most people who are in the music industry?
Totally. Yeah. It's really interesting because it obviously helps us. We look at our band as a business in that sense, and we're so close to data that we're constantly analyzing. Yeah. And
Data.
a lot of it comes down to goal setting, actually. I think we've taken and learned from our companies that we work for and see how goal setting with numbers and data and hard evidence of how you can succeed, and obviously taking in industry data as well to compare it with your own. But I think in everything, when it boils down to it, it comes down to data.
Yeah.
And
We spent a lot of time analyzing numbers around merch sales and how many people come to shows and how much an advertisement effort works to either get people to shows or to get people to listen to music, and how do you build target audiences, and that's stuff that we've learned at work. And then other stuff we find really important is establishing design, brands, kind of coming up with a brand standard for how we want to present ourselves, and really spending a lot of time with not only music and being creative with music, but also being creative with visual art. So creating album artwork or just websites, merch, and doing all this stuff. And that's all stuff we've learned working in the tech industry and just being around that kind of stuff frequently.
Totally.
Having basically kind of, one, looking at the metrics and the data that comes in to kind of quantify what your results are, and then looking at, making sure that you have specific brand guidelines, a brand story, your messaging is correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What have been some interesting insights that you guys have found through your data, through people that come to your shows, or people who stream your songs, or people who engage with you on social media? What are some interesting insights that you guys have found from that data?
Got one.
You have a good one? Okay.
Yeah. Well, the biggest thing that we just recently discovered was how important performing on radio stations are,
Ooh.
because
good one.
we did WERS. I don't know. I think we did it twice in the fall.
Mhm.
And back when we were doing shows about a month ago, we were still having people coming up to us saying like every single show, we would have like 2 to 5 people be like, "Oh my God, we came to your show because we heard you on WERS."
Yeah.
And
Oh, wow.
yeah, which,
Yeah.
I mean, in this day of age, it's kind of crazy because we just play these shows because, A, we like the radio station and we want to try and reach an audience that might like our music. But the fact that people are coming to our shows because they heard us on a radio show is just, I can't believe that was a thing.
Wow. Amazing.
Yeah, I could give you an advertising one.
Sure.
Yeah, so we do a lot of advertising on Facebook, and that's where we found our most successful advertisements. But we found that we get more clicks if there's like one person in the picture or the video versus like 2 or more. And yeah, that's been a big one that we found.
Yeah, that was really interesting.
Yeah.
So on Facebook, there are people there's one or more people who clicked on it and came to your show, or?
Oh, sorry. Like if you're thinking of like, let me be more clear. So like when you go to Facebook and you make an advertisement, usually our advertisements.
Oh, when you boost your posts.
Yeah. So
it's
mainly about like imagery and video. But we found that when there's like one person in the shot, that more people click on it than if there's if it's like a group shot.
So interesting.
Yeah. Every time we do advertisements, we try for it to be like.
So the click-through rate is higher when you have one person versus a couple people.
Yeah. And we've also found, which I have like a whole doc of like these random things that we found that I share with like all my music friends.
Yeah.
So if you're a musician looking for some like data on like how to successfully release a song, or like your first release ever, like feel free to reach out because I have a whole doc on this. But something that we also found really successful is that videos have a higher click rate than photos, which is pretty much general knowledge. But we ran some tests with that, and we found that if you like do the album art with like an MP3 in the background as a video, so it's like just a static image but of a video with the music in the background, that had like the highest click rate of any of our other.
Oh wow!
Like a picture or like just like regular imagery.
A still picture, but with the audio in the background of the soundtrack or sample or something like that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fascinating. Wow.
Yes.
On that note, let me just make a shout out, ladies and gentlemen. If you haven't already, please follow Coral Moons. We have Carly and Justin here with us, Coral Moons, on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Spotify at Coral Moons Bands. That's Coral Moons Bands in the description here. And we will be joined shortly after this with Carly sharing with us an amazing story behind her song, Dive In.
Just another day up here in space, orbiting my own life. Been 23 years, and I'm late to the game, and I'm here to say I tried. Quarter life crisis, it's alright. My parents wanna prove so lie. I just can't do the 9 to 5. About to be 23. Oh, so I dive in. I dive in. I dive in. I dive in. Spent my whole life fighting for something else, so it's now or never for me. and breaking all the rules, and I'll still fight with you, yeah. But I mean to say, try, yeah. Quarter life crisis, it's alright. My parents wanna prove so alive. I just can't do the 9 to 5. About to be 23, oh, so I dive in. I dive in. I dive in. I dive in. Again, and I wonder every night how things could have been different. I can't sit and wonder why. It's alright. My parents wanna prove so alive. I just can't do the 9 to 5. About to be 23. Oh, so I dive in. I dive in. I dive in, no, 'cause I dive in, la da da da.
So Carly, that was a very interesting song. I identified it with it a lot. Quarter life crisis, it's all right. My parents want to prove, so I lie. I can't just do the 9 to 5. I'm about to be 23. Could you tell me a little bit more about what you're talking about in this song?
Yeah, sure. There's a reason we named our first EP Quarter Life Crisis, and it was mainly because this was like the first song that we all were like, that's a song that we think is like Coral Moons. Mm-hmm. And this song is, I mean, I can't do the 9 to 5. It's basically just about like working your ass off. Can I say ass on here?
You're fine. It's America. Free to say anything.
It's basically about working your ass off and getting into the real world. The real world being my 9 to 5, your 9 to 5, your friend's 9 to 5, and being like, this is it. Like, this is what I worked my ass off for all these years. Like, this is what I've been waiting for. And it's kind of just like getting there and being like, oh my God, like the world it fooled me and now I'm screwed.
Yeah.
And it's just being like, this is all I have now because this is what I put my whole life into. And it's just about me being a late bloomer in music and being like, all right, well, like I might as well just go for it now. And obviously I have 9 to 5. But it's just kind of like exploring the non 9 to 5 and like, what can I do after my 9 to 5?
So that's an interesting theme there though, because I think a lot of people do struggle with that. I mean, I remember when, I had a corporate job that was definitely, I had a very intense corporate job, but you're like, oh, I'm working 9 to 5. Like, I have like my work, right? They say work-life balance of my work, and then I have life, right? It's as if the two are contradictory. It's like, I don't know, we're dying or something. We're doing work and then we have like, we're living, afterwards. But so did you feel like, I guess going into the workforce, working as a mobile developer, having a corporate job, did that kind of push you more into the music scene as sort of something that you could pick up or, find, maybe, I hope I'm not saying it's too serious, to find like meaning outside of work or life outside of work, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I was just totally panicking, and I was like, okay, like if this is all I have to show for like myself as like an individual, then I feel like I've failed. So I immediately was like, and I mean, I've always loved music, and I think a lot of it just kind of like fit into place for me in my life. Like I had met Manuel, our bassist. We were working together at the time at the company that I still work for now. And he was like sort of getting me interested in music. And then I had another coworker who had a roommate that was Justin, that also was like really in music at that point. So for me, it was kind of just like me getting to my 9-to-5 was just the catalyst. So like finding music, I don't necessarily think that it didn't necessarily push me to do music, because before then I just like I didn't have the resources to do music, you know, and like I needed a little extra nudge, and that was kind of like me being surrounded by all these talented and like inspiring people. So it definitely pushed me on accident, but I wouldn't say that like 9-to-5s in general, like I needed something. I don't know if it would have been music if it wasn't for the people I was surrounded by.
So I guess what you're saying is like the 9-to-5 was fine in the sense that it provided stability and you have a career and you're using your talents. But at the same time, like, you're like, okay, after 5 o'clock, what do I do? Like, I need to do something, interesting, exciting.
Who am I?
Like
what do I stand for? Like what inspires me to like just do something that I love? It doesn't have to be anything creative. I mean, like being creative is amazing, obviously. But yeah, it was really just about like me finding myself and like finding what I loved and felt passionate about, which I still love tech, and like obviously doing the 9-to-5 is, like you said, like a lot of things. But it doesn't really like fill the internal void of like who you are. So I found that in music.
So 9-to-5, I mean, work is work, right? You're doing things. It's like the nature of work, from 9-to-5. But music is very much a avenue for you to reflect kind of on who am I, what, why am I here? What am I doing? What am I doing with my life? About, you do talk about that a little bit in terms of, parents' expectation and having a quarter life crisis about to turn 23. It's very, very autobiographical. And I think that's I'm going to touch on that a little bit more later. And I think that's very reflective of your writing. But speaking of, I guess, connections, this is a little bit on a tangent. So who would you say are your top 5 go-to Spotify artists that you find yourself connecting them to the most? Like when you're asking that question, like, who am I, or who are those 5 guys who you listen to give you inspiration to write music?
I'm gonna have Justin answer this one. I'll go after, but Justin, I could probably name Justin's before you name but yeah, you should.
I'm actually curious.
You look a little bit surprised there, Justin. You're like,
okay. Justin's number 1, Bon Iver.
Yes.
Yep.
His second, Phoebe Bridgers.
It's
definitely up high.
She's definitely up there.
Yeah. I mean, she should be up there with everybody. Okay, let's see. Radiohead.
That's true. I'm in the top 1% of listeners of Radiohead on Spotify.
Wow.
I don't know what that means, but I got a notification on my phone one day that said that, and
it
was sick.
Yeah.
Well, they're tracking data too, right?
Oh yeah, they were like,
Oh my gosh.
I love that. Anyway, continue.
Okay. 4, I'm gonna say the OCs.
Wow.
Am I doing good? Okay.
Yeah.
One more. John Williams.
Oh. Okay.
Wow. Yep. That is.
Yeah.
Not that order, but yes.
Phoebe Bridgers probably towards the end. John Williams number 1, obviously.
So Justin, how accurate was Carly?
She got the top
4 out of 5.
I wouldn't put it in that order. I think it depends on the day.
5, really?
Yeah, I think the only one I was kind of iffy about, like I love Phoebe Bridgers, but I haven't really been like listening to her a lot.
Yeah.
But I just listened to her record again recently because she's releasing a new album. And
What about like Ty Segall instead?
No, DOC's all the way.
No, not instead of the
No,
OCs.
I mean Phoebe Bridgers is up there for that.
Okay.
So 5 out of 5.
Oh yeah, she got.
Wow, Carly, you hit your metrics. I see you did
That
well in
was
school.
wild.
I hit my metrics. Thank you.
John Williams and the OCs. Like I didn't think.
Were you thinking John Williams in your head?
No, but I'm like, yeah, I listen to John Williams all the time.
You listen to him like every fucking
So maybe she knows what you listen to better than you do in some sense.
Let's see if you know me.
So let's see whether you know Carly. What Carly's top 5 artists are.
Harry Styles,
I love Harry Styles.
Maggie Rogers.
Mm.
I love pop. I love like pop music, not like radio pop, but I mean Maggie Rogers and Harry Styles are both like technically pop artists.
Yeah.
But they're just like pushing so many boundaries, and honestly their music sounds way more indie to me than pop. But
Fleetwood Mac,
okay, Fleetwood Mac.
Obviously. Anything that encompasses Stevie Nicks.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I should have said.
No, Fleetwood Mac more so than Stevie Nicks.
Lake Street Dive.
And there's one more.
Tedeschi Trucks.
Oh. Oh.
Right?
What were the first 2 you said?
Maggie Rogers, Harry Styles.
Okay, I would take out Harry Styles and put.
What?
No
way.
I would take out Harry Styles and put Alabama Shakes.
No way. You listen to Harry Styles I would take out.
Alabama Shakes haven't come out with something since 2017.
Well, you listen to Brittany Howard's record all the time.
Yeah, but she's not Alabama Shakes.
Top 6.
Okay, top
Brittany
6. You got it right.
Yeah.
All right, 6 out of 5.
Really, Harry Styles?
Justin, you win.
I don't listen to Harry Styles because he. No, I win.
I guess you know.
I just listen to Harry Styles because he just came out with a new record.
Yeah, well, I thought you just meant like in. Anyway.
Like today.
I missed one. Dang it.
Yeah.
I was off by 1.
Pretty close. So, I guess it's, how do they kind of inspire your music?
Yeah. I'll take this one since
You
I
go
write all
for
the
it.
music for this band. Justin has his own project called Hope and Things, and it's a little more indie rock.
Yeah.
You know,
In addition to checking out Cora Moon's band, you should check out Hope and Things as well, guys.
Yeah, we also both play in that same band.
We both play in that band too. Justin does the songwriting and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, I think there's so many things that I like absorb as a listener of music. When I think about Lake Street Dive, especially, I think about the energy that they write with and like how it gets people like amped up to listen to their music. Like if I'm just like not feeling super great, I'll be like, oh well, I'll just listen to Lake Street Dive because it'll make me feel better. And it's like they do have a lot of like slower music and stuff, but I think that like the way that they have integrated themselves into the music of like contemporary music, like using old sounds mixed with the new is like yeah, like keeping that energy. I don't know, I every song I could write could be a slow song. Like every single song I write would just be like so chill. So it's like really, and you know, I think it's cool, but also like as an artist I want to inspire people and like get people moving and like just like be like feel the energy, even though that doesn't necessarily need to be like an upbeat song. I still find that a lot of Lake Street Dive songs, even their slow songs, have a lot of energy. So doing that, I think like studying them in that way and like figuring out their chords and like what I think makes their songs energetic is like a way that I can take that and harness it in my own music, because it's something that I don't have naturally. Like it doesn't come out of the box for me, and it's something I have to like really strive for and reach for. So for like especially Lake Street Dive with energy,
so they basically take kind of the classic sounds and yet apply it in some sort of in kind of the contemporary realm of today's times, and it works in a way that it kind of it blends in smoothly that people, more people can identify it. And for you, it's something that you basically aspire to create a similar sound like that.
Yeah.
I'm going to come back to that in a little bit. But for those of you who are tuning in, my name's Matt Yuan. I am the founder and CEO of CountN. We are hosting this show in partnership with the record company, Boston's very own nonprofit record company. And again, all the proceeds of this show will go directly to their Boston Music Maker Relief Fund and to Carly Craft and Justin Caraboons, our performing artists tonight. So make sure you make a contribution through this Facebook campaign or directly through the link below. Now, once again, we have Carly Craft and Justin Bartlett here with the band Coral Moons. And the next song we have coming up is Under Control.
Can't get out of bed, got me blocked on every edge. Had important things to do. Counting cracks on the floor, counting everything I've known to calm my breathing down. And a whole universe expands throughout my room with a tiny little door. As I go to space, is this a mistake? I never meant you any harm. I just wanted it to feel like I had it all under control. I just wanted it to feel like I had it all under control. I just wanted it to feel like I had it all under control. I just wanted it to feel like I had it all under control. Can't get out of bed, got me blocked on every edge. Had important things to do. And I'm thankful for every day, and I promise I'll be okay. Maybe tomorrow I'll be great. I just wanted it to feel like I had it all under control. I just wanted it to feel like I had it all under control. I just wanted I just wanted it to feel like I had
So that was Carly Kraft, Justin Bartlett with Carl Moons performing Under Control again. We've discussed your lyrics a little bit, Carly, about it being kind of having autobiographical themes, and this one is, I guess, about the things being under control, but from, I guess, when you're writing a song, where do you start? Like, how do you start? Do you focus on a subject? Do you usually come up with an idea? What's kind of your process to writing a song?
Yeah, I think it varies. Usually I either start off with a melody in my head. Usually I'm in the shower and I just get like a melody in my head that's like, okay. And then I kind of like play off that a little bit and record it and like try to find chords to it. Usually the content at that point means nothing. Like what I'm actually saying out loud pretty much means nothing. It's usually more about like the way the words move with the melody, or like the way, more in that sense. And then other times, if I have writer's block, I kind of just like play through chords that sound good and then just like spitball and see what comes out. And I usually find myself somewhere. I write a lot of music and a lot of it sucks and a lot of it's kind of good. And so, yeah, I think it kind of comes to me in different waves. But
is it a little bit like the 80-20 rule, where you have like, you write a lot of things and 80% of it is like, I don't like that, but you have this 20% where like, oh yeah, like this could work. Is that kind of how it works for you? Cool. And
I would say more of like I write one good song, I throw one out. I write one good song, I throw it out.
It's like a 50-50.
So
Yeah,
more 50-50. Oh wow, that's pretty good conversion rate.
It doesn't seem very impressive when it's happening. Like when Justin writes music, he loves, I mean, not that you love every song you write, but every song that he writes is like so complete in thought by the end of it. And for me, I just like spitball ideas out. I'm like the complete opposite. I'm just like, ooh, what about this? What about this? What about this? And I like move very quickly. Okay. And for him, he's like so thoughtful. And
I'm always like reshifting and particular. But I know it's like for me when I'm writing, I know it's a good song if I'm obsessed with it. Like if I'm like constantly thinking about it and constantly like it just seeps up into my life while I'm like kind of not thinking about it, and it continuously does that, it means that it's worth pursuing. However, it takes me forever.
So you have, Justin, you basically have a more methodical approach where can you kind of hear the song in your head before even you write it?
Yeah. I think like if it's something that I'm really excited about, I'll have a lot of it, like all of the instrumentation written. Whether or not I'm able to get that out on paper, I'm usually not, and that really gives me anxiety. But then I'll like bring it to Carly, or I'll bring it to the rest of the band for Hope and Things, and we'll just play through it, and then everything just falls into place, and I'm like, oh yeah, okay, yeah, no, this is what I. So I don't know. I guess it is kind of methodical, but also it's just totally random. So
yeah.
But that's how I know what feels good, is when I'm like obsessed with it and I can't stop thinking about it.
Yeah, I was gonna say I could probably identify with your methodology a little bit more, just because I at least for me personally, I'm more of an instrumentalist first before a writer, and so for me, I almost have to like get the sound down before the words. It sounds like for you, Carly, it can come anytime. When you're in the shower or when you're singing in front of the piano, and you kind of just have. Ideas being, you kind of throw a bunch of ideas out and songs out, and you're like, oh, this could work here, this could work. You kind of piece it together, right? So it's very much, wow, that's very interesting. By the way, if you're watching, you should check out both Carl Moons and Hope and Things if you guys want to get a taste of the difference between Carly and Justin's writing. So we'll include a link in here about that. So I guess coming back to the topic about the coronavirus, it's affected the lives of millions of people. It's affected our lives, and it's also a reason why we can't do this in a studio. We're doing this over Zoom. what would you say music? What would you say music? What can music do to help people during the coronavirus? How can music help people during the coronavirus?
So, can I take this
Yeah,
one?
go for it.
Okay. Yeah, I think music is so important right now because without the arts, life is going to be mundane, and we're already kind of trapped in this world right now that's very, very disjointed, and you need to be able to connect with other people. And one way to connect with other people is by listening to music and listening to artists tell stories about the human condition. And I think it's, for me, without music, I think I don't know. It just, I feel like I'd be missing a piece of human connection. And I think having human connection is so important right now, considering everybody is isolated, and we're really lucky that we live together. Then you have a lot of people who don't have roommates or don't have loved ones that they're near, or don't, they can't see their friends, or all of this stuff. And it's the way to connect is to, in my opinion, I think music can help you connect in those ways that you don't have anymore. I also feel like TV shows and movies do the same thing too, where it's human interaction. But I just think the arts in general are, without the arts right now, life would be even more dark in a way, you know?
Yeah.
I also think that music is really important because it gives you a chance to reflect on yourself. Like, I think any other type of any other type of perspective that you get, whether it be through TV, through music, it always brings a level of self-reflection. And maybe music made you feel something more intensely, or maybe it taught you something, and there's always something to learn from it. And it's even better when you can like learn more about yourself as you listen to it, which is an extremely important thing during this time that we're all kind of feeling not ourselves and doing the routine that we weren't envisioning for ourselves at this point in our lives.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I was thinking, because music, I think, even for me, you know, my own journey has been a tool for me to in some sense verbalize the things that I struggle to talk about, right? That's, you know, it helps you to get to that emotional place within you where, you know, in a time like this, everyone's stuck at home. Everyone, you know, even though there's work, you know, you're more alone and more to your thoughts. And it does give you more time to kind of think about, like, oh, who am I? You know, what am I doing here? Like, why am I doing the things that I'm doing? And at least for me personally, I struggle to put those things into words. But when I write music or when I play an instrument, that really kind of comes to fruition in a much greater sense that I usually wouldn't be able to do on my own. So yeah, like you guys were saying, that was a time to reflect, and I think that that's a very that's what music does. It really helps you, you know, while you're by yourself and, you know, looking into yourself. It gives you a means and channel to help people to look at themselves more in a deeper way that perhaps they can't on their own, in terms of just, you know, verbalizing or saying it to other people. I just wanted to pause and just, you know, just reach out to everyone for those of you who have joined us, thanks for joining us once again. We are doing this show to help artists in this difficult times, and we are partnering with the record company, a nonprofit in Boston here, who has set up the Boston Music Maker Relief Fund. It sounds exactly as what it does. It is here to help artists who have lost their income due to the coronavirus. So feel free to make a contribution directly through this Facebook campaign or at the link below. And now we have Carly and Justin of Carl Moons, who is performing Like We Used To for us. And make sure you stick around after this song as Carly and Justin share a little bit more about their new EP coming out. They're going to give us a brief teaser into one of their songs in that in that EP, and you guys are going to be, we are going to be one of the very first people to be able to listen to that. So make sure you stick around with that. Thanks.
We drive until it's dark. Oh, I wonder, where did we start? Listening to CDs that you stole from your daddy's car. I could take you out tonight and do what we used to do. Spin me round and round again and tell me I'm pretty too. Just one night, let's fall asleep like we used to. Like we used to. Like we used to. Forgetting what we fight. I'm so blinded by all the good times. You're sleeping on the couch again. I can't remember the words that you said. I could take you out tonight and do what we used to do. Spin me round and round again and tell me I'm pretty too. Just one night, let's fall asleep like we used to. Like we used to. Like we used to. La da la da la da la da da da. La la da 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 la da 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 da. I could take you out tonight and do what we used to do. Spin me round and round again and tell me I'm pretty too. Just one night, let's fall asleep like we used to. Like we used to. Like we used to. La da 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 da. La la da 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 da. Ooh ooh. La da 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 da. La da 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 da.
So, ladies and gentlemen, that was Like We Used To by Carl Moons. We're here with Carly and Justin. Once again, thank you guys so much for coming onto the show. And I hear that you guys have an upcoming EP that, that is coming in the summer, early summer. And you obviously can't tell us exactly what's going to be on it because that's a secret. But why don't you give us a taste of what's going to come? I hear there are rumors that there's something to do with travel that is going to be related to it. So why don't you tell us a little bit more?
Sure. So we have our first single dropping sometime early this summer. That song's called Winnebago, and you'll hear that next. Lots of instruments, lots of horns. It's definitely a really exciting time to be an artist as our sophomore release.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, what do you mean by that? Your sophomore release, for those who are not necessarily music.
So this will be our second EP. Our first EP was called Quarter Life Crisis that we released last September.
Mm-hmm.
And that was 5 songs, and most of them about having a quarter life crisis. But yeah, so this next EP has transitioned a little bit And a lot of our songs recently have been about traveling.
Yeah.
And just like experiencing new things and like getting out there and like going outside your comfort zone and really exploring pretty much anything that you can get your hands on.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Wow. So it's very much, you're very much you're going from talking about, life and being 23 and working 9 to 5 to travel. What inspired you to write about travel?
That's a good question. I myself, and I won't speak for Justin, but I've been in I've been in the Northeast for 23 years of my life. And for me, I kind of feel like I'm ready for something new, something new and exciting. And I think a lot of these songs are about us adventuring to Europe.
Wow.
Yeah, and to me, I feel like I need to go somewhere else and experience something new. So
Great.
that's what it means to me. What does it mean to you?
I think I love being on the road. I grew up a military brat, which is my dad was in the Air Force, so I moved around a bunch when I was a kid. So some of my fondest memories, some of my fondest memories growing up are the couple of times we drove across the country to move to wherever we were moving next. So traveling to me has a very nostalgic feeling and a very exciting feeling, and getting to see like beautiful things across our country, which, you forget how incredible it is. So yeah, it's just a life on the road is just something I love.
Yeah.
That's great. Wow.
Yeah, that's exactly what Winnebago is about.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've personally lived in 4 different countries myself. I've lived in the US, Singapore, and Australia, and Hong Kong, and go.
Yeah.
I mean, not to say there are challenges with it, but everywhere you go, you definitely experience something new. You learn something new. You change as a person. And I think that is, I'm excited to hear that on your new album when it comes out. So last question for you, Carly. I heard that you applied to be a spokesperson for Spindrift.
Oh my God, wait.
There's one right there. Pause. What do you mean, these old things?
Oh, you mean this?
What's that? I've never seen those.
Oh, well, what is this?
Tell me about it.
So,
Are you gonna open it?
yeah, I'm gonna open it.
Right.
This is Spindrift. Spindrift is a refreshing sparkling water. They have, I think, almost 12 flavors.
They have a
at
lot
this
of
point.
flavors, yeah.
Wow.
They just released their watermelon flavor.
Pineapple.
Oh, yeah. They just released their pineapple flavor, which I'm allergic to pineapple, so I can't drink that one, but I'm equally excited for the world. It looks like this. We'll do a little taste test.
Oh.
By the way, for the audience, there is no product placement in this video. This is purely spontaneous. We do not have a sponsorship from Spindrift.
This is purely an addiction.
But if anyone's watching from Spindrift, you're welcome to reach out to me at my email. I'll put it in the video, and you guys can reach out to me, and we'll talk, about Spindrift.
So Spindrift is amazing because there are so many different sparkling waters that are in the market right now. But what makes Spindrift so amazing is that it has no natural flavors or unnatural flavors. A lot of times people are like organic natural flavors, but really what that means is just like flavors made in a lab, even if it's like organic and natural, but it's still not real. So Spindrift is amazing because it's all fresh fruit. So we have raspberry lime in the fridge as well, which has like two raspberries in it, I think, and like a whole lime per case.
Wow.
And so yeah, the only ingredients in this are carbonated water and lemon juice. So there's no artificial flavors, and that's what makes it different than like LaCroix or Polar
Or bubble.
or Bubbly.
Bubbly. That's
I never knew that. I genuinely did not know that.
I know, and it's sourced locally, so they're from
Boston,
they're
right?
Massachusetts. They're even in Newton,
Yeah.
Newton, Massachusetts.
They're really good.
Massachusetts.
You haven't. You should get it. It's
Yeah.
very good.
Really.
That's great. I think we may have some folks on watching this who are from Newton, Massachusetts. So one more thing to be proud of you from Newton, Massachusetts. So you are trying to, you are a spokesperson, or you tried to be a spokesperson for them? How did that work out?
I haven't tried. I just I am a spokesperson.
You are a spokesperson for them. Okay.
Yeah,
Just tag them on Instagram.
they don't know me yet. So like in our bio, we say we're unofficially sponsored by Spindrift. But we hope one day in the future we just have
to be officially
sponsored by Spindrift. But also we try to like get our friends to just like tag us in a bunch of shit. Like if they're like, oh, out to see Coral Moons tonight. Like here's a Spindrift, like sponsored by Coral Moons. Like, you know, we're trying to get our name out there. So
maybe you guys will have your own line of, one day you guys will have your own line of Spindrift. That would be awesome.
That would be insane. Except I just like, I am obsessed with the lemon. So
we'll just relabel
it.
Coral Moons Spindrift.
Yeah.
That's great.
We might get sponsored by the grapefruit flavor because I feel like that's like a coral color, but
that's true. That's true. We're open to any flavor except the pineapple one, or the
I like the pineapple,
or the mango one.
Mango one's really good.
You've never had the pineapple one.
Okay. Wow. Sorry, it lagged a little bit there, but no, that's super awesome. Spindrift all the way. I have to try out Spindrift myself. I've only been really drinking San Pellegrino in terms of seltzer water, so I need to kind of expand my taste a little bit. So last question for you. Winnebago is your new single on this EP that you're coming out. What is that song about? Where did the name come about? Tell us a little bit more about Winnebago.
Yeah, so Winnebago is a fun summer song that is kind of just supposed to get you to move, and it's supposed to be about traveling. And honestly, I wrote the song more about the idea of traveling because it's really exciting to like plan to travel. Mm-hmm. And like, it's always really exciting to like visualize what it's going to be like when you're there, and like just like really like daydreaming about travel. So I think the song is especially now as we're stuck inside, it's more about like the visualization of like us traveling and going out there. So it's just like a groovy fun song that is supposed to like get you to move and feel good.
That's great. If any of you guys are watching right now and you are and not being able to go anywhere, make sure you write a comment or like this post right now, and we will let you know once the song comes out. But that is a really awesome song. Now we have a final encore with Carly and Justin of Coral Moons. Make sure you follow them on YouTube, Apple Music, Spotify, Facebook, Instagram at Coral Moons Bands. And make sure you check out Coral Moon's latest videos. Once again, thank you, Carly, and thank you, Justin, for joining us. This is Coral Moons performing Winnebago.
Going for a drive, a place where we can hide. Going down the road into the unknown. I'll find a Winnebago, baby, to travel with you. Let's go 1,000 miles, baby, wherever you choose. We don't have to go, the idea's enough alone. Why we move so fast when we wanna make it last? The desert in the night, sunrise is far behind. A different state of mind, and we're reaching for the sky. I'll find a Winnebago, baby, to travel with you. Let's go 1,000 miles, baby, wherever you choose. some place to find somewhere new to travel with you. Let's go 1,000 miles, baby. I'll find a Winnebago, baby. Let's go 1,000 miles, baby. I'll find a Winnebago, baby, to travel with you. Let's go 1,000 miles, baby, wherever you choose. Oh, yeah. Oh, I'll find a Winnebago, baby, to travel with you. Oh, yeah. Let's go 1,000 miles, baby, wherever you choose.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Carl Moons performing Winnebago, a song that will be featured on their new EP that will be released this summer. Thank you for joining us tonight. If you really enjoyed this show, please feel free to make a contribution directly through this Facebook campaign or through the YouTube link below. All contributions will go directly to the record company's Boston Music Maker Relief Fund and to our artist Carl Moons. We are planning to close this fundraising round by next Wednesday, so please feel free to make a contribution before then. Also, we'd like to find out a little bit more about what you thought about our show, what you liked, what you didn't like, and what else we can include on the show. Please feel free to leave a comment below in the comments section so that we can find out more and put more of what you'd like to see in our upcoming episodes. Once again, my name is Matt Yuan. I'm the founder and CEO of CountN. Our mission is to help independent businesses build community through live music and create equal opportunities for artists through innovation and excellence. If you're looking to book shows, if you're looking to run music programs, please feel free to download our app through the Apple App Store, or you can check us out at www.countinapp.com. Once again, my name is Matt Yuan. Thank you all for joining us tonight. We'd like to close this evening by giving you a preview of our artist who will be on the show next week, Chris Walton. Please stay safe, please stay healthy, and I look forward to seeing all of you next week.
Nothing burns.
Thank you, Matt and CountN, for having us. Please donate. Click here to donate to the record company's relief fund for music makers. They need your support. Woo!
every single time you say, would you like to spend the day? I'll say okay. Maybe we'll fall in love like yesterday. Can't wait till I see you again. Oh, if I may. Girl, you make me try so hard to get on you. I can't complain when you smile. Over to and tell you every day that I love you. Lady, I'm just so in love with you. Every time that day, and you said hey, you're crazy, you're completely insane. Don't get mad if I'm jealous, okay? I will behave. Girl, you make me try so hard to